So today what we're going to be doing is a jar upcycle. So I've got a clean jar here and I'm going to get it nicely prepped so that what I do to it is going to stay on here. And all I'm doing to start with is going over it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol to ensure that all the grease and everything off it is completely gone and it's all nice and clean. So there we go, that should all be nice and clean now. And the next thing I'm going to do is give it a spray with plastic primer. Now you might think, well, that's glass, but I found this works so well for protecting and making things so it adheres to it. Also, it gives it a nicer look from the inside, and you'll see that in a second. I'm going to do this outside rather than spraying inside. There we go, that's all sprayed. I sprayed it with a stick on the inside so that I could easily put that down somewhere, stick that into something and let that dry, and I don't have to touch it. Well, this jar is all lovely and dry now, and as you can see, it gives a really nice white opaque inside. But before I go ahead and finish this off, if you were going to paint this, then you just paint directly on top of that primer. But I'm not going to paint this. What I'm going to do is do a little bit of a sculpt on it. First thing I'm going to do is add some of this painter's tape to it all the way around. And this again gives it a lovely grip for what I'm about to add on. You don't need to worry too much if you've got a couple of wrinkles in it or anything like that at this stage, because that's going to be covered up. That doesn't affect the inside, how nice that will look from there. I'm going to line up my join on there, slightly overlap. Make sure that's all pushed down and well adhered to there. And now round the top, I'm going to go over so it slightly hangs over that top. Push that on nicely all the way around. Okay, and then I can trim that off using a nice sharp blade. So that's all covered and ready now for me to do the next stage. And what I'm going to use today is this white clay. Now, I don't know if you saw my recipe on how to make this. It's got a really weird ingredient in it, but it works so well and it gives a great finish because it doesn't give a rock hard finish. It's like a more of a flexible, not plastic, I don't want to say plastic finish to it because it's not plastic, but it's got more of a flexible, cures completely, but doesn't cure completely hard. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to go all the way around and put a layer of this on, and especially around that top to cover up that so it doesn't look like a jar. And now we've got that covered, what I'm going to do is just dip my knife in some water and smooth that off a little bit, going all the way around. Now, I don't mind if it's got a bit of texture on. That's absolutely fine. But what I don't want is any like sharp bits pointing up. And now I've got that as smooth as I want it. What I'm going to do is build up using some snakes of this, like this, thinning it out. And then I'm going to put that up there like this, going round. So it's thicker towards the base than it is towards the top. And I'm going to do 4 of those going round. So now I've got those on, what I'm going to do is using my fingers with a bit of water on, I'm now going to smooth these out, going all the way around. I'm going to leave a little bit of texture in them, kind of like that, if the camera's picking that up very well. I don't know. You don't need much water on your finger, you just need a tiny little bit to help it glide over those pieces that you've put on. So that's completely covered now and as smoothed out as much as I want to smooth it out. And now I'm going to leave that for a couple of days in a warm place to dry before I do the next stage. Well, this is all dry now. It took 2 days to fully dry in a warm room, but it's lovely and dry and really smooth as well. Smoother than I thought it would be, and it's also still got that lightness to it. It does smell lovely. So what I'm going to do now is try something that I've never used on paper mache before in any way, and that's this primer filler. And the reason is I use this on 3D prints when I do them, but I want to see if this will give it even smoother finish. Now do this in a well ventilated area. And just give it light sprays. It will dry fairly quickly. I mean, it's giving it a nice prime. I'm not sure how well it's filling on this. And now we're going to let that dry. So I've looked at that now, it's dry, and it has filled in some of the smaller cracks, but it hasn't really done a great job of filling them. So what I'm now going to do is exactly the same thing, but instead of using the filler primer, use this spray filler. So what I'm going to do is exactly the same thing with this spray filler, which actually sprays on a little bit thicker, and let that dry. And I think that will help smooth it out. I don't want it completely smooth, like it's glass. And now that's sprayed, what I'm going to do is just go along and put some heavy spray on here so it runs as well. So that's going to give me some extra texture because I want those runs just around the top and running towards the bottom. And now I'm going to let that dry and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Well, that's all nice and dry now, and the ripples are in there. I don't know if they're thick enough to show up, but I'm hoping they are. Now I'm going to paint it with some gold paint, and I buy this in a bigger tin now because I was using so much of it before, and hopefully some of that texture is going to show through once I've painted it. Now this coat of paint is dry, what I'm going to do is to highlight the actual drips and the runs. I'm going to go over it with these chrome markers, and these are waterproof, which is brilliant. So all the top bit I'm going to turn into gold chrome. I'm not sure how it's going to come out. I have no idea, but I think it might look nice. And if it does, then I'm pleased. If it doesn't, what I will do is just finish off and paint the whole thing in this chrome. So what I'm going to do is follow the lines around at the moment like this and let the drips drip down. And this cover's lovely and easy, and it will cover all this in one coat. Well, this is all completely dry now, and the chrome marker has worked really well on there, but I'm not sure I like this as it is. In fact, everything about this I thought I would like, but I don't. I'm not sure I like that. I think it's come out a bit So what I'm going to do is one final thing to see if I can improve it so I like it. So what I'm going to do is I've got some stickers here that I made a while back for a different project. I made these in both sticker paper and water slide paper, and they came out brilliantly. If you want to check out that video, then the link for that will be in the description below. Now these aren't going to show up because they're on transparent paper. They're not going to show up too well, but that is what I kind of want. I want them to be just kind of there and allow that gold to come through like that. And hopefully that's going to improve how I feel about this this little vase. I'll go around, I'll stick these on, and then I'll show you what it looks like once I've done that. Well, I really like it now. It's got the stickers on. I think they've really given it the lift it needed. They're translucent, so the gold still shines through, and I love that effect. It's surprising how just a few changes can really make a difference to something that you weren't pleased with or didn't like. I also think it looks nice with these flowers in that I made in a previous video. I've got another jar upcycle coming very soon that I think you're going to absolutely love. It really came out awesome. So make sure you don't miss that. Boop that subscribe button. Also boop the like button. Leave me a comment in the comments below. But most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.